Welcome to a Return to Oneness. My name is Eddie, and I help people open their hearts. In this discussion, we're continuing the lesson, Learning to Master Your Triggers, Part 4. Step 2, Choose not to react. Have you yet recognized a pattern to the steps of learning how to master your triggers? The pattern lies directly in front of you. What is the pattern found within each step? It is but choice. Yes, choice. For choice is the last vestige of power you hold while playing in egoic consciousness. For the power of choice is behind every experience you have had, are having, and will ever have as long as you walk this planet. Your experiences and how you interpret them are directly tied to the moment-to-moment choices you make. This is in accordance with the first of 12 spiritual laws, the law of free will. You are free to choose what your mind entertains. You are free to treasure, to value what you choose. For you can treasure the things found in this world, or you can treasure heaven. And as the great master himself once said, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Although you are free to choose your heart's desires, you are not free to choose the outcome of those desires, nor can you make of yourself what God made not. For the laws govern the outcome of every thought, thus every choice you make, and your experiences, which are but the outcome of thoughts held in the mind, are created from the very beliefs those thoughts engender. There are only two thought systems from which you can choose. One is predicated upon making judgments, believing that is its function. The other thought system knows not of making judgments, for it knows only love. One thought system creates nothing but fear, guilt, and loss, all of which leads you to experiences of loneliness, depression, misery, and every form of conflict imaginable, while the other creates nothing but peace, since it is rooted in love. One maintains the egoic consciousness of a person bound by his past, and demands constant vigilance on its behalf, because it believes it is weak and powerless. The other maintains unity and oneness with all that is, because it demands nothing, thereby giving it all power under the heaven and earth. For it recognizes itself in everyone and in all things. For Christ consciousness knows not of attack, much less of defending itself. It only knows complete freedom, because it knows of its true power. One makes you but a victim to others, yourself, society, and the world around you, while the other keeps you invulnerable, resting forever in the presence of love's awareness. One demands that you react in order to defend yourself from a perceived attack. The other but asks that you respond to everything by sharing love. One will take everything you have, while the other gives only of itself, knowing it is full and complete. For it has no needs, being whole within itself. Which one you choose depends on where your treasure is stored. And it is the choice of which thought system you allow to live within your mind that determines what experiences you will have. Herein lies either your bondage to the world or your freedom to overcome it. The choice remains yours. No one can force you to choose one or the other. The decision rests solely upon what you desire for yourself. It is important at this stage of development for you to recognize that choice is where your remaining power as a creator lies. As mentioned before, you are the creator of your reality. It is for this reason that if you want to change your life and its trajectory, you must choose again. Only you have the power to change your mind. Only you have the power to look upon what triggered you as a gift rather than a threat. Many believe in miracles. In truth, little miracles happen all around you every day. Yet the greatest miracle occurs when you can see what threatened you as a call for love. Furthermore, when you make the conscious decision to respond when triggered rather than react, you have invited a miracle into your awareness. What then is a miracle? It is simply a change in perception. In this case, when you choose to perceive what triggered you differently, you have gifted yourself with a miracle, and the universe responds. For you always receive what you ask for and receive as asked. Jesus taught this when he made the simple statement, "Ask, and ye shall receive." Notice that the Master did not put any qualifiers behind it. For he did not say, "Ask, and ye shall receive," only when you do this, that, or the other. No, he simply taught truth. He only taught that which was from the Father. What is the truth? It is but this: every thought is a prayer, and the universe responds to every thought. For each thought activates the laws, and the laws govern how each thought is manifested in the physical world. Notice that I said the universe responds to every thought. Why does the universe respond? It responds because, on the most basic level, the universe is nothing but love, and love only responds. It never reacts. In addition, the universe does not judge a thought as one that is right or wrong, good or bad, or one that is better than another. Instead, the universe does not discriminate between thoughts. It merely responds to each one. Therefore, it is solely your responsibility as to which thoughts you entertain. For instance, if you have a belief, which is nothing more than a thought entertained and held in the mind, that you catch every cold that someone else seems to have, then the universe responds by granting you your belief. For you will come down with a cold most every time you are around someone who you perceive as sick with the cold or the flu. The universe doesn't question your thoughts. It simply responds by allowing each thought to manifest in the physical realm. In other words, as the old saying goes, be careful as to what you ask for, because you will receive it. However, the more appropriate statement is, be vigilant for the thoughts you think today, because they will become what you will experience tomorrow. Remember to react to something or someone once you have been triggered is to use the past as a guide and a tool to aid you in navigating the current situation. The question you should ask yourself is, if how I reacted in the past was so great and wonderful, why am I experiencing almost the same thing? The next question, albeit the more important one, you should ask yourselves, is reacting to this going to restore my peace of mind? Can I judge my way to peace? Is reacting to this person, place, thing, or experience worthy of my greatest treasure? Come now in this most beautiful moment to realize that peace is your greatest treasure. For without peace, you truly do not have anything of value. Is anger more valuable than peace? Is having a grievance a greater treasure than peace? Is conflict with its emotional pain and suffering worth more to you than peace? For until you actively choose to value peace, you can but continue to create experiences which but serve the purpose of upholding and treasuring victimhood. Do you yet recognize that most people value being a victim? But why is there such a need to treasure victimhood in so many people when peace is no farther than the width of the next thought? Why would they deliberately choose the emotional trauma of victimhood rather than the quiet joy that is found in peace? The answer may be less than palatable to some, but the reason is a simple one. It is because they are heavily invested in the mental and emotional story created by the belief that they were hurt and traumatized by an event which occurred in their past. And this investment is as precious to them as a diamond is to a stone setter. Furthermore, they defend this investment much the same way as a jewelry store's security system does after business hours. Just as a jeweler stores his most valued items in a vault, those who are heavily invested in their stories of victimhood house their memories deep within their minds. And everything they think or do is for the primary purpose of protecting their investment. In truth, they cannot imagine relinquishing the story, for they have become so thoroughly identified with the story of their victimization that to be without it would be like living in hell. Yet they do not realize that the stories they have become identified with stand between them and the true identity given unto them by God Himself. However, most remain unaware that they react when triggered because that is their default setting. They simply react as if they were on autopilot. Often it isn't until the dust settles that they become truly aware of what they said or did as a result of the confrontation that followed after they were triggered. This is why you must remain vigilant for those times you feel that you have become triggered. For the default setting of the subconscious mind is set on the on position. Therefore, before you are consciously aware of what you are doing, you will have already judged yourself as having been personally attacked. For your subconscious mind immediately judges the situation, because passing judgments is the primary default setting of that aspect of your mind. Thus, reacting to a trigger is but a symptom of judgment, not its cause. What then causes the conscious, subconscious mind to make so many judgments once you perceive that you have been threatened in some manner? Before the answer to that question is given, you must first recognize that if you are truly threatened on a physical level, the fight or flight response automatically kicks in. This is not the type of threat being discussed here. Rather, it is when you feel emotionally or mentally threatened from being triggered by something someone says or does that creates all of the inner and outer turmoil you experience. In other words, it is all of the judgments the subconscious mind makes when you are triggered, once you perceive you have been treated unjustly, that is the underlying problem. Maybe you become triggered by something that was said for which you found offensive. It could have been that someone threw something at you because he or she was angry. Regardless of what that person did, you believe you were treated poorly. Thus, you become triggered and immediately react or act out again. It could even be a word that you find offensive that triggers you. The point is, once triggered, the mind goes into hyperdrive as it judges everything and everyone in sight. There is only one reason it does this, and that reason simply is, you took what that person said or did personally. Herein lies the greatest error the mind makes. For in order to take anything personally, you had to perceive what the other person said or did as something that offended you. Take a moment and give some thought to the word offend. For the word carries the meaning to cause someone, in this case you, to feel hurt, angry, or upset by something said or done. Think about that definition once again, because to be offended by anything someone says or does is to believe that the cause of your hurt or anger lies outside of you. In other words, you blame another for causing you to be upset and angry. Think about that for just a moment. For the moment you become offended by what someone has said or done, you have said to the universe, that person's action, his words, have caused me to become upset and hurt. And because the universe is always listening and responding to your thoughts, you will become even more upset and hurt. And in that most unholy moment, a grievance has been formed. The time has come to realize that nothing outside of you has the power to upset or offend you unless you give it the power to do so. Learn now that you still have the power of choice. For you can just as easily choose not to be offended or upset by what someone has said or done. But in order to do so, you must not take what was said or done personally. Always remember this: what others say or do to you is a reflection of what lives within them. It is a reflection of the thought system that person values. However, your thoughts, your feelings, and how you react is a direct reflection of what you value. The question is, do you value conflict or love? For whichever you value more will determine what happens next. If you value conflict, then you will react. But if you value love, then you will respond. Thus, it really is a matter of what you treasure the most and where your treasure lies. For it either lies in the world or in heaven. When you recognize that you are becoming upset at something someone is saying or doing, you stand at the threshold of the next choice you must make. For you can choose to either react or respond. The choice truly is yours. No one forces you to react. That is a decision you make and make alone each time you choose to react. Yet, when you choose to respond, you are never alone, for the Christ is always with you to guide and direct you. But the choice whether to react or respond rests squarely within your hands, for it is where your remaining power lies. Only you can choose what you will do. The next time you find yourself having been triggered by something someone has said or done, become consciously aware that you have a choice to make. And rather than acting out as you always have, make a different choice. Choose not to react. Here are a few statements of truth that you can silently say to yourself that will help you to make a choice to respond rather than acting out. The truth statements are: my power lies in the choices I make. Therefore, I choose not to react. I choose to respond to this experience with love because I value peace more than being right. As the light of love itself, this experience cannot hurt the truth of what I am. I declare my power in rising above this situation. In this, I trust the Christ within to guide me into perfect peace. Thank you for listening. Peace, love, and joy to all.